Welcome to Warrior Commission Now, where we talk about practical ways to live out your commission in the Lord. I'm Christine Caston, and joining me today is Kathy Brown. Kathy has been a part of the Warrior Commission since, I forgot to ask you, since the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, since the beginning. So we've been old hands, I guess, seasoned warriors as we call ourselves. And so Kathy currently serves in an area of passion that is the director of advanced training. She has been passionate about advanced training, specifically our champion training area, for a long time. And so I'm really excited, Kathy, for you to be here today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here too. Thank you, Christine. I just wanted to share something about how emerging from hiddenness.
Mhm.
And a while back, the Lord, I have been in leading worship and, being more out there and learn, with other people and the community and church. And then God called me into this place away from all that, into a place of hiddenness. And
Mhm.
in that place, I really discovered the joy of being in the presence of God with him one-on-one with me, and
Mhm.
learning about intimacy, learning about how to hear his voice, and learning about his heart of love for me.
Mhm.
And then
Well, so wait, let me stop you there, because some people think a season of hiddenness is like a week, and sometimes it can be, but yours actually lasted several years, correct?
yeah, it lasted about 5 years, which
Hmm.
seems like a long time. And at first it was seemed really hard, but then it was like, I love this place. I don't want to leave this place. This is my intimacy with God. And now God said, okay, I'm calling you out of hiddenness, and you're going to bring what you've learned in that intimacy and his love for me, and how I can then love other people.
Hmm.
And because we love one another as he has loved us. So the
Right.
more I learn about his love for me, the more I am growing in knowing how to love other people.
Mm.
But that happens through process, as we understand, and growing in maturity, and being in community, and being in a place where you learn to apply the things that you grew into about love.
Hmm.
And that is a beautiful way that God brings us into community where his presence can be amplified. Because
Hmm.
with me by myself, it's God showed me I can get to quite a bit of heaven,
Hmm.
but me with other people in the community, the synergy of being in that space, the way that his presence manifests
Hmm.
increases with each other. When it's that where two or more are gathered, he is in our midst. So there's something more that happens when there are more than just me. And I
Hmm.
discovered that, and God told me that if I really wanted to know, my passion in my heart was to know the purpose and destiny he had for my life on this earth. And I'm praying that Ephesians prayer, that I would know the hope of his calling and the riches of the glory of his inheritance in me,
Hmm. Hmm.
that I wouldn't discover the fullness of that until I was around other people. And in that place, then he would open up more of my destiny and purpose, being around other people and learning how to be in community and walking alongside, linking arms and loving each other
Hmm.
and all
Yeah,
the
and I think that's really like that's a really key component, because what we found in the Warrior Commission is, we have training that's self-paced, where people are, with walking through it with the Lord, and then we have the development of what it looks like to be in different types of training teams, different types of development and growth that we do in a team-oriented approach, because we we feel like it's important to bring in a multitude of voices. Proverbs says, in a multitude of voices, there is wisdom. So we love to be able to create space for people to be heard. But I think there's a key piece about what it is to know your identity, and then what it is to actually step into it. So would you talk a little bit about that, Kathy, with your journey and how you've uh, gained an understanding of your identity, but how you've been able to walk that out, and kind of what's happened in who you are and what that looks like for you.
Yeah. Um, well, and it goes with how we take territory, and then we learn how to establish that territory, that there are two battles that we have to go through to get there. And part of that is we get a revelation that God's given us about who we are in him and our identity. But when we walk it out in his kingdom is when we establish that identity. Then we grow in understanding what does it mean to actually be someone who carries the heart of God to the people in his kingdom. And that is one of my identity statements. And my heart is to do that. But a lot of times, with people, you're going to get things that come up, and it isn't always easy, but that's where iron sharpens iron. And I learned how to step back into where God is, to be able to then go back and love as he's called me to love. Because if I'm going to grow in my identity in love, then I'm going to be challenged in that identity and love. And that is something I've learned to anticipate and to joyfully know that that's there, so that I default to who I am as a much loved daughter, and I walk in love and make decisions based on love, and recognize if things come up, like I'm feeling insecure or wounded or hurt or something, and what to do with those emotions if those things come up. And that is the establishing of that part of my identity that comes through being in community. And that wouldn't happen by myself. I need to be with other people to grow in who he's called me to be. And that's a beautiful thing that God's called us to, because he never intended us for us to be alone. He intended us to be with him and with each other.
Right. And that's so true, because really, I mean, when God created us, he created us with a kingdom purpose. We see that as our commission in the Warrior Commission. But the commission that we carry can't be really carried out without others being involved with it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Even though the majority of our commission, we feel, is actually about that intimacy with the Lord and the identity that we discover through that piece. But ultimately, it can't be fulfilled until we are actually interacting with others and living from our identity in that place. But I love what you said about carrying God's heart, because that's actually an identity statement for you. Could you state that identity statement, and let's talk a little bit about how you live that out?
Well, God opened up to me in my quest of looking to him for who I am, that I am a carrier of his heart to his kingdom that would bring heaven to earth. And that is about love. And so one of my biggest, in fact, my champion dream and our champion training, we go and find out what is God's dream for me and what is my dream with God. My dream was really about loving God and loving people. And but walking that out in that place is learning more about who he is and his love, and then bringing that heart to people to know that and to be in that ambassador of love, which is part of who we are in the Warrior Commission. And in that space, there is, again, it's about establishing, because you're going to be challenged. You're going to come up to rough spots. You're going to come up to tension. And those are the establishing places. You can have a revelation, but until you establish it on the battlefield of being challenged in it, then you aren't able to really keep that ground that you've taken. So if I am walking with God in that identity of carrying his heart, then if I am established in that place to be with him in his heart, to be able to love people as he loves them, and to be able to see them as he sees them. So when negativity arises in me, I need to know how to go to him with that, and not own it, and not say it, and remind myself that that is not who I am. This is who I am. I am a carrier of God's heart to his kingdom. I am one who loves as the Lord loves.
And that was your statement right there. That was your identity statement. Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned the one that we share as warriors in the Warrior Commission. So the Warrior Commission, just for people who may not be aware, the Warrior Commission has specific identity statements that are part of our community. And everyone who connects to our community will connect to one or more of those identity statements in some way. And so we have an identity statement that says we are warrior ambassadors of his love, because it takes a warrior mindset to love greatly. And so that was kind of our shared identity statement, but you took it even further into the identity statement that you personalized into being a carrier of his heart. And I love that, Kathy. I love I've seen how you love and how you love well, and it's a beautiful, encouraging, building thing for people, exhorting, it urges them forward into destiny because they know they're loved. And so I love that you have been able to join us today. Thank you, Kathy, for sharing your heart with us on this, and hopefully we'll have some more opportunities to capture some more things with the chat. But want to thank you guys for being here today. If you want to find out more about the Warrior Commission, you can go to thewarriorcommission.com and check us out. We also have this YouTube channel, and we have social media as well. So you're welcome to check us out in any of those. And we look forward to seeing you guys another time. Thank you so much for joining us.